First at 6, we're digging into the indictment of Williamson County Sheriff Robert Chody. He's charged with felony tampering with evidence. The case centers around in-custody death of Javier Ambler. It was recorded during a taping of the reality show LivePD. The video never aired and was later destroyed. KXAN investigator Jody Barr spoke with the sheriff at his news conference this afternoon. And Jody, what exactly is the sheriff accused of doing?
Well, Robert Chody and former county attorney Jason Nassour stand charged tonight with concealing or destroying records from a LivePD taping here back in March 2019. Prosecutors called those recordings material evidence, meaning they were central to the Javier Ambler death investigation. After 3 months of investigating, Williamson County DA Sean Dick told us today those recordings were never handed over, possibly because, he says, they could be destroyed, or they were destroyed. There were 2 investigations going on here. One, Williamson County was strictly looking into evidence tampering allegations in the Javier Ambler death investigation, but Travis County DA Margaret Moore's office is investigating whether Williamson County deputies used excessive force in the Ambler arrest.
The reason this has to come first is because the LivePD video would be wholly material to the investigation into the use of force.
I think anyone that knows me knows that I'm driven very much by what's right and what's wrong and what the evidence tells us.
And Jody, the investigation in Travis County goes on tonight. Sheriff Chody also held his own news conference later in the day, and he laid out his defense to these allegations, right?
He did, Robert, and he did so by alleging a conspiracy between the Williamson County DA and the Travis County DA. They're both elected district attorneys. Chody claims DA Dick, as a result of some political vendetta, worked to have him charged just weeks before the upcoming November election. Chody is facing an opponent who is a former deputy in this race coming up in November. DA Dick told us today he didn't find out about Ambler's in-custody death until May of this year, a little more than a year after it happened. The DA says he didn't indict Sheriff Robert Chody, that the people of Williamson County did.
We spent several months putting all this together and presenting a large number of witnesses to the grand jury, and a grand jury in Williamson County believed there was probable cause to believe that these offenses were committed within Williamson County.
You're saying there's zero merit, zero substance, zero evidence, yes, of the charges brought before you, that the DA Moore, DA Dick colluded in this conspiracy to have you charged today to impact the election?
That's basically what we're saying, yeah.
You know, do you realize that some people in the public may find that hard to believe?
Yeah, I realize that, and that's why we have jury trials, because at jury trials, all the evidence comes out, not just that the prosecutor wants to present.
So why are we here? Let me tell you why we're here. We're here because it's a month before the election, my election.
Now, the charge against the sheriff is serious. It is a felony in Texas. The sheriff also told me he has no plans to step aside while this investigation moves forward. And Robert, if convicted, Sheriff Robert Chody would face between 2 and 10 years in prison and fines of up to $10,000.
And one last point, Jody, the troubles for the sheriff and his department do not end with this indictment.
They do not. The Travis County DA said today that she is putting together a grand jury next month to hear evidence involving Chody and his department and whether those deputies used excessive force in the Javier Ambler arrest. And Travis County is also considering asking that grand jury to also consider evidence tampering charges, again concerning Sheriff Robert Chody and possibly former county attorney Jason Nassour here in Williamson County. Chody has a court appearance coming up in November. That'll happen here virtually in Williamson County. Robert.
Jody, thanks.
And we just got a response from Javier Ambler's family attorney. It says that today his family learned the reason for the slow pace of justice in this case, accusing Chody of being more interested in being part of the LivePD reality show than protecting Black lives. Ambler's family says if that's true, it's evidence there should be an overhaul of the current system of policing.
In June, Sheriff Chody told us the deputies involved in Ambler's case had been allowed back on duty even though the case was still open. He said at the time the Sheriff's Office internal investigator had found no wrongdoing on their part, but the case had to remain open because APD had not finished their investigation yet. Chody told us then that he wished LivePD still had its video from the night Ambler died, but that he did not feel it would change anything in the investigation.
And the reason it took 15 months for the video of Javier Ambler's arrest and in-custody death to surface is likely because of this dead suspect loophole. We've been reporting on it for years. Texas law says agencies only have to release basic information about a suspect if that suspect isn't convicted or is never placed on deferred adjudication, like if they die in custody, as Javier Ambler did. We only have this body camera video because it was released by the Austin Police Department, which is investigating the use of force by the Williamson County Sheriff's Office. For more on the loophole and efforts to close it, go to kxan.com/denied.
And we noticed, it appears many of our viewers did as well, that the mugshot of Sheriff Chody does not resemble any other his department usually send out. Here's a look at what the Williamson County Sheriff's Department posted in its online booking photos. The sheriff is in a suit here, smiling in front of the county seal. Other arrestees there, photographed, are in orange, jail-issued clothing in front of a plain blue wall. We reached out to ask why it's so different and inquire about the department's booking photo policy, but we have yet to hear back.